What do you want to get into? I guess we got to end the whole tsunami story.
Can I point out one thing before we do that ties in with the old story to finish it up?
Yeah.
I have to just point out how stupid Bob Kelly is because I forgot to tell you before. We were talking about the girl shooting last night with the whole thing we just covered.
The thing, yeah.
And Bob was saying about like how she comes to New York and she's trying to be an actress. He goes, and then you try to make your dream come to fruition.
Whoa.
He said fruition.
Oh.
He's the stupidest human being I've ever met. And
Well,
I had
Vos.
to get that out.
Yeah.
Bob makes Vos look like Stephen Hawking.
Are you kidding?
Bob is a dummy.
Well, you're not going to get that complaint
Wow.
from me. It's not right to me.
That is stupid.
The fruition.
They should take both of them, strap explosives to them, and try to send them to a polling place. They blow each other up.
Anthony, what do you got in front of you? The tsunami thing?
No, this was some wrong alert. Tells state to evacuate.
Oh, yeah, I know. Connecticut was in a panic, yesterday? We got to get the audio of that.
Yeah. Despite what residents may have seen on television, the state of Connecticut was not ordered to evacuate Tuesday. State emergency management officials believe someone pressed the wrong button. Oops. And instead of running a test of the emergency alert system, midday television viewers and radio listeners were told the state was being evacuated.
The state was
the
being
entire
evacuated?
State? There's absolutely no evacuation or state of emergency. It was an erroneous message. The department was investigating how the alert was sent. Must have been Rick Delgado. I think he was the producer.
He's always over the top with everything.
Over the top, Rick. Let me just push this button. This will be funny. They'll think a tsunami's coming. Yeah, they're looking into it, but I guess someone hit the wrong button. And why would only Connecticut be told to evacuate? Like, what could possibly be happening in that small
And
little
did
square
people start
state?
evacuating? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, I wonder how many people actually started evacuating. Probably none. It's like when the alarm goes off in a hotel. Do you leave your room when the fire alarm goes off in a hotel?
Absolutely never.
I never do. It just starts wailing, and you're like, shut up, shut that off.
Because, I hate to say it, and it's probably not a good thing to say, but 95% of the time, it's a false alarm.
False alarm.
It's kind of like the car alarm thing. At first, when you first got the car alarm and it went off, it was a big deal. Like, oh, whoa, something's happening. Car alarms go off in my neighborhood every single day to the point no one even pays attention anymore.
Oh, they do? Oh, in the big city? I'm in the suburbs. I haven't heard a car alarm since I left Brooklyn.
When was the last time you saw someone actually run toward a car because they heard the alarm going off? No one.
Shut up!
And everyone just goes about their business. It means nothing in this day and age, car alarms. Nothing. So I want to know, do we have audio of this? We got to try to find this story. Because I want to know if people were actually evacuating.
Yeah, probably not. I bet nobody tried to leave the state of Connecticut.
Let's go to Tony in Jersey. Tony, what's up?
No, what's up, guys?
Hey.
Breaking news. A small plane just crashed on Route 46 outside of Teterboro Airport.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it should be coming on the news any second.
Why, did you see it?
No, I didn't see it, but I get the inside scoop.
Why, who are you?
Who am I?
Yeah, who are you that you know?
Well, I just know.
Uh-oh. He just knows.
Who's this guy? Who's this guy?
On Route 46, it went for an emergency landing and hit Route 46?
Well, I don't know if it's an emergency landing. I mean, the details aren't in, but there's debris all over Route 46, and they're getting ready to shut it down any
Hey, there you go. CNN. Plane crash at Teterboro Airport in New Jersey.
Wow, Tony, you're like a prognosticator.
Yeah.
You're a prognosticator.
It came to fruition. Fruition. All right, thank you.
Plane hits building after skidding off runway in New Jersey.
Yeah, that doesn't look good.
No,
There you go,
flames,
guys.
All right.
smoke.
Thank you. There you go. We like breaking
Fire.
stories. All right, Anthony, we'll see what's going on with that. But, yeah, the Tsunami Song thing. This just, I told you. I changed my whole feeling on this. I knew they were going to save the morning show. I just knew it.
Morning, so they got rid of two people.
Yeah, the two people that don't matter.
The producer and
no offense
Todd.
to Rick, he's a good producer, but I mean, in the long run, it doesn't matter if he stays or goes.
Yeah.
So they sacrificed him and they sacrificed Todd. We know Todd from the Comedy Cellar a little bit. I've talked to him a couple times, and
Saw him last night.
And Jimmy knows him. What is he saying about this whole thing?
I didn't talk to him. I called him in the afternoon just to see if he was all right, because I knew he was getting fired. He's like, yeah, man, I'll talk to you tonight at the Cellar. And I went on right after him. and he was gone when I came off. But at the end of his set, he was apologizing. He said, like, I'm really sorry about what happened. I guess it was...
he's apologizing to his audience while he's doing his stand-up?
No, probably just in general. He's making... I think he's probably caught a lot of flack, and he may have even gotten weird threats or whatever, so it's probably a smart thing to do.
Yep.
Well, our old producer, and they dragged our names into this on all these hip-hop sites. Ugh. Where's that one statement where they're like, figures, it's a producer that used to work for Opie and Anthony or something?
Well, that was the whole campaign of throwing Rick under the bus so they could keep Miss Jones in her seat, when the truth of the matter is, we listened to the tape. We listened to the conversation that went on before they played it. This Miss Jones was completely psyched about this, enjoyed the song, loved it, and played it. And it was her show and her decision to play it. Rick didn't tell her to play it. Regardless if he wrote the goddamn song, sang on it, it's her show. She played it. Like I said before, me and Opie weren't having sex in a church. You know, we could say, well, it wasn't us. It was, you know, a guy that was a spotter with this couple, but it wasn't us. So fire whoever you want, but we didn't do it. No, because the bottom line is it's your show. You're responsible for what goes out over the air on your show. And to throw Rick under the bus and Todd like that just so she could save her job.
Yep.
Eesh.
Nice that the rap website, the hip-hop ones are all mad. Figures Opie and Anthony. Yeah, I know, you guys are really bad. I mean, you should really, fly straight like they do in the hip-hop community.
There you go.
Pull a little stunt like shooting somebody.
Exactly.
Drive-by.
We're putting it out, but
lovely.
They dragged our names into it. But no surprise here. You know, they really need... Now Miss Jones got all this attention, and there's a hip-hop battle going on here in New York City because these guys, Star and Buck Wild, came back to town, and it was a really big deal. There's billboards over the city, and they're trying to get the hip-hop audience, and they're pretty much the front runners to get the hip-hop audience, and Hot 97 had a real battle on their hands to begin with, and now they got this show, Miss Jones, with all the attention that the Tsunami Song brought. Now they could possibly survive this hip-hop battle, and that's what Emmis is thinking. They don't give a crap that people were offended by this song in the end, because it comes down to the ad revenue. Simple as that. And now they know that Miss Jones is a valuable commodity. Yep. To the radio company, and they're going to spin it this way and that way with their press releases and stuff. But Anthony and I understand how this works, and there's more value in keeping her than firing her, and that's why she stays. Simple as that.
I was under the impression they were just going to dump everybody, but I guess there's a whole different head going on over there. They dump a couple of people. She gets back on. You won't hear one word of support for Rick or Todd from her mouth. That's for sure. You won't hear them mentioned. It'll just be like they never existed.
We're moving forward.
Yeah.
Why would they fire Todd? He's an on-air guy. I can almost understand, and I like Rick. I know Rick for years, but they're going to say, all right, the producer, the PD or something has to go. But why do you fire Todd, man? Who didn't do anything wrong? Just why?
I think, didn't he make the shoot Asians comment?
But that was, we all heard it. We know he was going, he was just like, he was saying it in phony exasperation, like just joking. I'm going to shoot some Asians. He didn't know. No one thinks he's going to shoot Asians.
Well, we got the audio of him saying that. We could listen to see if he meant it or if he was just doing what, his job, which is to be kind of edgy and in a way funny,
If you ask me, Miss Jones made more racial comments than he did by talking about Miss Info, the Asian girl on the show, and how she feels superior over her because you're Asian. I'm supposed to, she made some Asian comments.
I guess in the hip-hop community, if you want to talk about shooting people, you should do it with music behind you, and then you're going to win a Grammy, and it's acceptable. But don't do it in humor. Once again, comedians held to a different standard than musicians.
Well, here's the story.
Sickening.
Hot 97 boots Tsunami Song pair vows $1 million in aid. Wow. Hot 97 Radio fired 2 staffers and pledged $1 million for tsunami relief yesterday, hoping to quell the firestorm over a song that mocked victims of the catastrophe and used an ethnic slur to describe them. The actions of the morning show crew were socially and morally indefensible, and the entire MS family is ashamed by this, said Rick Cummings, president of MS Communications. Cummings said Miss Jones in the morning, producer Rick Delgado, and on-air sidekick Todd Lynn were asked to send a message that this type of insensitivity is utterly unacceptable. Really? To send a message? You're not sending any message. You want to send a message, you fire the morning show host, who has final say.
What?
who has final say. Anthony and I do a show. Producers around us, they give us stuff all the time. It's up to Anthony and I in the end. Wow, should we do this? Should we do that? Because we might get in trouble. There's no management here to look over us and say, guys, I know what you're about to play, and I think you shouldn't play it. It really comes down to the morning show host.
Unbelievable.
Rick made a Tsunami Song. Obviously over the top, and kind of hacky. I got to tell Rick, it's a hacky song.
He even says it was, by the way.
And yeah, you've been talking to him off air a little bit. And he handed it in, just like he's done on our show many times in the past. And some of the stuff we have played, and oh, wow, that guy's dead.
Ew, is that someone in the car all burnt up?
Wow, that guy was just trying to drive to work. Holy ass.
Gets nailed by a plane.
That stinks.
That's a bad day at work.
That's unlucky lottery right there.
Yeah.
Or is it sucks to be you?
I think that's unlucky lottery.
You're just driving on 46 in Jersey. You're probably listening to us or whatever, the radio, and all of a sudden a plane just takes you out and you don't even see it coming? Oh, wow.
The plane's kind of in one piece, though. Doesn't look like it's busted up or burnt up too bad. That's what happens when they're right at the airport. If they skid off like that, you got so much emergency equipment, they could just put it out pretty easy.
Foaming the hell out of that thing.
You know what's weird? Like, I always think about stuff like that, and then the timing of it. If that guy, left literally not even a second later.
Oh, stops at a light.
Or earlier. Wow, that guy's got to be dead, man.
Ah, well, maybe.
But I always think that stuff. That car done and possibly whoever was in it dead. If that person 1 second left work 1 second later or earlier, maybe he was out the door but forgot his keys. Or,
I forgot.
Or you know what?
Yeah,
There's the coffee on my kitchen table. You know what? I'm going to go back and want one more slug of coffee. He'd be alive.
Yep.
I think about that weird crap all the time.
Or if his awful castrating wife had shut her mouth 30 seconds sooner, he would have been past the crash.
Could have been out there, right?
So anyway, yeah, but just like us, Rick worked for us. He's handed in stuff to us in the past, and we're like,
Rick, that stunk.
What are you thinking? But in the end, it's up to us.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if Miss Jones has any, whatever, she should step down.
Oh, yeah, that's going to happen. Stop.
No, I don't fault her, man. She's trying to keep her job. I fault the company.
Yeah, but she was all brave on this tape we're about to play.
Keep them all or boot them all. That's what should have happened.
Exactly.
You either keep it and stand behind the show and ride it out and keep them all, or you wimp out and fire all of them. You don't fire the producer and a sidekick guy,
and Todd,
and leave this woman there who's had the final word.
And Anthony, we have stepped up for our own people. There was a time that management at NEW wanted to fire Rick, and we walked out.
Rick was fired. Rick was done.
Oh yeah, he was actually fired.
Yep.
They sat us down and said, "We're going to fire Rick." We just I don't remember what the problem was. Anthony and I go, "Yeah, really? We're not working today. Bye."
Nope.
And we walked out.
Ain't gonna happen.
We walked out.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to, there's times you got to stick up for your people.
I agree.
Especially when you're heard on tape. Pretty much saying that exact thing. You know what? You're not one of us. You're not supporting the show. What? That whole misinfo thing we're about to play.
Yeah, play that.
So Emmis blamed Rick Delgado for writing, producing, and airing the We Are the World parody, and Lynn for offensive, racially insensitive comments. Cummings said Miss Jones, along with sidekicks DJ Envy and Tasha Hightower, will be back on the air a week from today. To huge ratings, by the way. Absolutely huge ratings, and that's the only reason they're coming back. But must donate 2 weeks' salary to give to Asia tsunami relief. I guess that's a website or something. That's also where Emmis will send its $1 million lump sum donation.
That's right. You just pay it off and everything's okay.
It's pennies. It's pennies because of the amount of exposure that this show got and the ad revenue that will come in because of this. It won't even compare it to the $1 million they just want to throw at this thing. This response, as with all their previous responses, is inadequate, said Queens Councilman John Liu. He's the most vocal critic of this whole thing.
Of course, because no one's ever listened to him before, and no one ever will again. This is his one moment in the sun.
I have made it very clear to Emmis that they need to give up a week's worth of advertising revenues to the relief efforts, and by my calculation, that's not $1 million. Give me a freaking break. It's $10 million, Liu said. That meaning, a week's worth of ad revenue.
Lou said that?
Oh.
Did he? Rick Delgado and Lynn couldn't be reached for comment. That means they're under a gag order because Rick would have his face all over TV if he could.
Oh, so this guy is saying now, okay, we'll kind of accept this, but we want another $9 million. Now it becomes extortion.
Now it's, money.
I'm so irritated
Extortion.
that they fired Todd. And it's not that I like him more than Rick, but just the fact that he's an on-air guy and he said something racially insensitive, which, let's be honest, on a hip-hop station, it very rarely happens do you hear anything racially insensitive.
Dude, Rick shouldn't have been fired.
I agree he shouldn't have been. I agree.
His job is to know what a producer's job is to do is to throw a whole bunch of shit in front of the host of a show.
Produce stuff.
Just throw it all on. Look at this. Look it in front of us. Look at all this stuff. And then Ant and I, we just pick around and decide what we want to use today.
Yep.
He has no responsibility as far as that goes.
Your job is to produce stuff that then goes through the host filter.
Right.
As to what is used or not.
He should throw 10 Tsunami songs at them, and then maybe there's one that, that the host go, you know what, this isn't that bad. I'm going to play this one.
Yep.
He's not, putting a gun to anyone's head saying, play this song. Here, this is something I made. Play it if you want.
Pat from Moonachie checking in. Commenting on the plane crash, he just writes, "It wasn't my fault." Well, what are you going to do?
It's a corporate jet. Yeah, there's someone very important that just crashed.
Eesh.
All right, we got to play the audio because
of course, listen to her.
Listen to her.
She's completely into it. She's chastising other members of the show for not being into this song, not supporting the song. Crap.
Dr. Jeff?
Yes.
As usual.
Hey.
It's been a pleasure.
Always my pleasure. I haven't heard the Tsunami Song, but I would love to hear it myself.
All right, well.
I would.
Now is as good a time as any.
Now is a good enough time as any. Right there, she's deciding, I'm going to play the song again.
Yep.
Not Rick or anyone else. She's like, okay, This is a good time to play it again.
Right.
Starring the Miss Jones and the Morning Show Players.
Yes.
Minus misinfo.
Of course.
Okay.
The Miss Jones Morning Show Players.
Right. Minus Misinfo, and then she goes, of course, now she's going to lay into Misinfo for not being part of the Tsunami Song, not being involved, not supporting it.
But see, the company and Miss Jones, everyone is trying to separate themselves from this song, saying, we had really nothing to do with it. Really? Starring the Miss Jones and the Morning Show Players.
Right.
That's it, damn it. Why don't you just quit?
Yeah.
Why is it always minus you?
Why
aren't you getting in like everybody else? So stop the song.
That song is really offensive to me, and I opted not to involve myself.
But why do you...
And you know what? I respect her. I swear to God, I think I'm different than you guys, but I totally respect her for speaking up and saying, look, I don't want to be part of this song.
I do, too. The only problem I have with her is, again, just because she's Asian, she didn't like the Asian angle. And you know that this is not the first time. And in this case, she happened to be right. But anything
Jimmy, I disagree with you. I mean, yeah, she's Asian, but she may just think it's a hacky song.
Understandable, but what they're saying is you always do this, meaning she's done that time and time again, and you know that mentality and humor. Can you imagine if one of us, like every time you guys did something or I said something, Ant was like, "Oh, come on, dude, that's really way."
That would get really old.
Yeah, man.
Really quick.
And I'm not saying that she wasn't wrong to dissociate herself with an awful song that she found offensive, but it's obviously something that she gets like this all the time, and that's what annoys me about her.
It's really offensive to me, and I opted not to involve myself.
But why do you always have to try, if you feel that way, then why are you even on the show? You always have to separate yourself.
Nah, because I support the fact that all of you guys have the right to say anything that you want to and make fun of anything that you want to, and I understand that, especially in a tragedy, that's one way that people deal with things. But for me personally, I just felt that I needed to opt out of it because me personally, I couldn't deal with it that way. I couldn't make fun of that.
And while we all respected that, because I don't think anybody was knocking your door down to come and ask for your vocals on the song.
No, I mean,
why do you?
Wow. She was very involved with this song.
While we all respected that.
Right.
That means we all discussed this and said, okay, that's fine. You don't have to be a part of it.
Right.
That's what that means.
And no one was knocking down her door for vocals.
See, they're spinning it in the press release and stuff that she really had nothing to do with the song, really. But, I mean, just listen to her. Listen to her. She completely supported the writing, the recording of this song, the playing of the song on her show.
Wait. I'll let you finish. Let me finish, please.
Yeah.
Why do you always have to make it known that you're separate?
No,
I feel like you always
have to make it known.
No, you do.
No,
you do. You
I don't
always
think so,
make
but
it known.
I got to keep stopping this. I'm getting more outraged because now she's like, make it known that you're separate. Guess what she's now doing? Guess what she will do? I'm separate from this whole thing.
Yep, separating herself from everything.
Holy crap, the hypocrisy and the bullshit.
No, I don't feel that way. Even in celebrity drama, it's always, I don't feel that way. But we're not. It's not always a question of if you agree or not. Just give the damn gossip. But I forget you're a journalist, right?
Everybody else gets to say their opinion.
Give me a break.
Can I say one thing?
Can I just say one thing?
Just a minute, Envy. You can say after I'm done. Info's not always about all of our opinions, but you don't. You always make it seem like it's like you're separate. If you want to be separate, be separate.
If anything, I've
go all the way there. Be separate and be off.
You're misunderstanding.
Of course I am, but I'll tell you what. Let's make it clear. Let's make it clear from here on out. You don't have to. You don't have to be a part of it.
No, I'm trying to.
No, you're not. You're not. You're always trying to undermine everything that's done here.
That is so ridiculous.
Okay, well, you guys have a nice day. We appreciate you. We appreciate you riding with us. And you had, of course, because it's the real.
Do that?
Can I say one thing?
What?
This portion of Ms. Jones in the Morning is sponsored by Sprint PCS. Brought to you by Sprint PCS.
I don't feel that way. I was out of it. Who cares? Nobody's asking. You always trying to put our asses out of the line further than yours.
I wouldn't say that.
Really?
Whose fat ass is going to be sitting in a chair?
Is that what she
with
does?
A job.
It's kind of like putting Rick and Todd's ass out there ahead of your own, you idiots.
I guess some asses were out a little further than yours. Wow, man.
Further than yours.
I wouldn't say that.
Well, you can't do it, but that's what your attempt is. Anyway,
Asians
have a great,
very healthy thing from a psychological point of view.
Right, and like I said, I respect that, but it's bigger than it's bigger than the Tsunami Song. It's bigger than the Tsunami Song. It's every time there's an artist asked to be kissed or artist asked to be put out there, you want the invitations to the parties and to the this and the that, so you don't even do the job the way it needs to be done because you have a different agenda.
In order to
I intend to. I take it the way it's given, and I'm not a damn fool. And I know you feel you're superior probably because you're an Asian, but you're not.
That's really
You're not.
You are not.
I know it is ridiculous. The fact that you could be superior.
I would never.
Have a good day.
That whole exchange just like angers me. What is her problem with Asians?
I think she's probably saying that the girl opted out because I'm part Asian American. The girl mentioned her ethnicity, and she's like, "Well, you probably think you're superior because you're an Asian."
How does that? The girl never once even hinted that she was any more superior than anybody. The woman has an inferiority complex.
Playing devil's advocate, Asians and blacks have had a lot of problems in the neighborhoods with the delis and stuff. I mean, that's just maybe where that comes from. I don't know.
What was the line? Your mother.
Oh, your mother should be very proud of you.
Yeah, it was something like, I feel sorry for your mother.
I feel sorry for your mother, yeah.
I feel sorry for your mother. What'd you say?
What was that one where he shoots him and then shows him on the videotape?
Yeah, and then he's showing the videotape. Boys in the Hood?
No.
No?
It wasn't even thinking
Menace
John
to Society?
Singer. There you go.
Menace to Society.
Boys in the
That
Hood
was a great one. Both of them were really good. Yeah.
Poor doughboy.
You knew how that one was going to end.
Yeah. 2 weeks later, he was murdered.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to it.
Thank you. And tomorrow when I say how many stories to be done in celebrity drama, please follow that. Thank you.
All right.
Dr. Jeff, sorry you had to be here while family is fighting, but
it's a healthy thing.
it is what it is.
Family, but next time, just really say how you feel, please.
That's what I try to do.
Always, even when it's not necessary.
I'm gonna be.
If I was there, mics would have been off.
I'm gonna be at the club tonight.
No, it's not always necessary.
Well, actually, I do bite my tongue.
You know what?
How
about this? How about this? I'm gonna call you now on the warm line. Let's necessary that. Let's me and you deal like that.
Let's do it.
You guys have a great day, and I'm glad.
Todd, do you see? That's what he got fired for right there.
What happened right there was she said, "I'm going to deal with this." Miss Jones was saying how she was going to deal with it. Todd was just trying to be funny.
Over the top. Yeah, he was being over the top.
Can you rewind? She's like, "I'm going to do this," and then Todd's like, "I'm going to start shooting Asians." No one thinks he's going to shoot Asians.
Right. It's an outrageous, like, over-the-top kind of statement. I see exactly what he was going for there.
It was.
If I was there, mics would have been off.
I'm going to be at the club tonight.
No, it's not always necessary.
Well, actually, I do bite my tongue.
You know what? How about this? How about this? I'm going to call you now on the warm line. Let's necessary that. Let's me and you deal like that.
Let's do it.
You guys have a great day, and I'm glad. I want you to have the same heart
funny.
that you are...
That line's funny now. I get what he meant.
It's just like, because that's just a joke.
Right.
How can anybody... No, that's racially insensitive. Put a little drum beat behind it. Then they'll accept it on your shitty music station.
Well, because it's out of context. And, and it's in, you just see the quote.
Right.
Like, oh my God.
But in that context, it is a funny line.
Yeah, of course.
It's funny.
heart that you're having now.
Okay.
She sang on this song, by the way. I'm listening more to her voice. She is absolutely in this song. You could hear the girl's voice is Miss Jones' voice.
Well, right, Rick.
I heard the way she said tsunami. And it's this exact same way it's said in the song.
And she said earlier about how no one was knocking down your door to give vocals to the song, which means it's, she was obviously singing on this. Right, Rick, and ask him.
They're saying it was Tasha Hightower.
I don't believe it. It sounds just like Miss Jones. I think it's her on the song too.
Is that it? I don't feel like playing the song again.
No, I just wanted to hear her vocal.
Oh, okay.
So I went down to the beach to catch me a tan.
That ain't her.
That's
Then the next thing
Rick. I can't even. I love it.
Then the next thing I knew.
Eyes closed, holding the headphones.
Oh, yeah, totally into it.
It's our boy, Rick. Jesus, Rick.
That's Rick.
You can almost tell everyone else is not really into it. They're like, maybe we'll get a giggle out of this. And this, Rick, no, man.
The next thing I knew, my ass was out the door.
You know, I just yell at the girls, sing, you bitch, sing. Oh, my God, I didn't even want to hear it, now I gotta.
So now you're
That's her right there.
It's a tsunami.
She's in there, in that mix right there.
Go find your mommy.
That's enough.
I don't know if that was her.
I
can't tell.
absolutely think that was her.
Rick will tell us.
Rick
We'll
will
email
tell
him.
That's true. Too bad we can't get Drew Boogie to break it down by
Let's see.
different tracks.
Hey, Rick.
Comma.
Did I would go dot dot dot?
Oh.
Yeah. Did Miss Jones sing on that song? Question mark. And send.
There you go.
I'm making news.
You sure are.
That's right.